The Detroit Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson was up for a coaching position for the second year in a row. Pretty much one of the hottest coaching candidates in the NFL. And after 2 consecutive years that multiple, almost, I think it was over 7 spots open when it came to coaching availabilities, he did not take a coaching position. And I know a lot of people are terrified that if Ben Johnson goes, Jared Goff will not only he will fall off a cliff, but some even think that if Ben Johnson goes, he'll take Jared Goff with him because of how strong of a connection they both have. But we heard some rumblings, some rumors about Ben Johnson calling from the plane and canceling the interview, turning down the job for the Washington Commanders, that he was the front runner. Well, he cleared those things up and he said why he wanted to stay in Detroit. And I gotta say, man, not only do I respect this, but this is going to go a long way to tell you just how long Ben Johnson is going to stay here. There's 2 points that I want you to see if you can pick up. Here's what Ben Johnson had to say about why he decided to stay in Detroit.
Some of the players obviously had unfinished business. Coming back here to Detroit, just talk about your goals, why you decided to come back and stay, man, when your name's been rumored the last 2 off seasons, other jobs.
Sure. Right after the championship game, it got on the plane and just thinking about something that coach had said. So 2021 and early part of 2022, he had made this analogy to the team just about how we were sailing down the ocean, and at that moment we were in the Arctic. We were hitting the icebergs. We had the storms going on, and those were dark days. But he had the foresight, he had the vision of where we were going and where we were heading. He assured us, guys, I see it. I see where we're going. The results haven't been there yet, but the Caribbean is on the horizon. It's coming up. And I'm sitting on the plane, I'm thinking back to that, and just the story of my career has been living in that Arctic for a lot of it. That was the second time I've been to the playoffs. The first time I'd experienced winning games in the playoffs. I think when it boils down to it, I wanted the sunshine a little bit longer. That's really what it comes down to for me. I like the sunshine. I like what we've built here, starting with ownership, the head coach, the GM, on down. We have a great group of guys in the locker room, and I want to reap the rewards with them a little bit longer.
And a lot of people would, maybe they find it hard to believe, right, when you have an opportunity that you have to take on or whatever. Why is that more important to you, like seeing that through, I guess, than taking that for yourself right now, creating that for yourself?
Yeah, well, listen, there's a lot of things that go into it, a lot of reasons and dynamics that play a part. Something that really resonates with me is, 8 openings this past year. What would you set the over-under in 3 years? How many still have jobs? I'd put the over-under at 4.5. I would say there's a good chance 5 of them are out of jobs in 3 years. And so when I look at it from that perspective, if I get the opportunity to go down that road, it's about how do I get to that second contract? How do I set myself up that the stars need to align? I'm not going to do it just to do it. I love what I'm doing right now. Love it. I love where I'm at. My family loves where we're at. Love the people that we're doing it with. And so I'm not willing to go down the other path yet unless I feel really good about how it's going to unfold.
What's important for you?
And that told you a lot. Now, I'd strongly suggest that you guys go watch the video. It's up on the Detroit Lions if you haven't already heard it, right? There is a couple things, man, that really stood out to me about his comments. One of them was, he said that he wanted to see things through. He wanted to see things through. He likes where he's at. And that goes a long way. I'm telling you, man, when it comes to, sometimes the grass is not always greener. So what does that tell me? Ben Johnson wants to see this thing. It's 2 things it tells me. One, he wants to win a Super Bowl. We were wondering kind of, would the NFC title game, would that be enough? Would the NFC title game be enough for him to leave? And a lot of people, I even thought that he might, but part of me thought that he might not go just yet. He might not go just yet. He might wait a little while longer. Maybe he wanted to see the Super Bowl. But there's another thing that it showed me as well. The other thing is, even when we win, the second part to what he said is that it might have to, the situation has to be right in order for him to leave. So we've seen guys like Eric Bieniemy, and there's a couple other offensive coordinators out there, right? That they win and they win and they win and they stay where they are because the grass is not always greener on the other side. So when it comes to Ben Johnson, not only does he he likes being here. Ben Johnson is a smart individual, a very smart man, not only with the offensive play calling, but also with making the right decision. If you go watch this, they really ask him some solid questions. They ask him about the Carolina owner, and he gives his thoughts on that. They ask him about the plane ride and what Washington had to say. They ask him about that. He has some thoughts on that. He expresses himself on that. So I like this. I love the fact that Ben Johnson addressed these things. Now, of course, he wanted to talk about football, and he said something else too, as to what a lot of you guys pointed out during the offseason, is that I blame Aaron Glenn. That's who I'm coming after the most, because for years our defense has been subpar, right? Ben Johnson and the offense had to carry our team to victory, right? But he goes, meaning Ben Johnson, he goes on to say how they had offensive woes in the third quarter. And he acknowledges that, he accepts that, and he looks to rectify that this coming season. So Ben Johnson, man, this tells me that even if we win a Super Bowl, this guy isn't trying to go anywhere. He's not going to go anywhere until the perfect opportunity comes. And that is a smart decision, because you heard what he said about the over under. Ben Johnson is thinking ahead, right? He's not thinking about, oh, I want to be a head coach. I want to be the man. I want to be the guy calling the shots. He's thinking about, you know what? In 3 years, if this thing goes down the drain, right? Not only I'm trying to get to a second contract. I'm not trying to get fired. I'm not trying to get fired. I'm trying to get to a second contract. That is the type of thing that is going to do him very well as the future and as that head coaching. And then they asked him, they said, do you have any doubts about you being a head coach? And after he takes a sip of water, he says no. He says no. The man is ready to be a head coach, right? As a matter of fact, I could see, if our defense gets better, I could see Aaron Glenn leaving before Ben Johnson, because it is not always greener on the other side, as Kenny Galladay, who's no longer in the league, as Frank Reich, as Matt Rule, right? As the coaches that have been fired time after time after time. He said, what is the over under on that second contract? He's thinking past the rookie contract. He's trying to get that second contract. Ben Johnson is not only smart with the play calling, he is a smart thinker as well. And not only that, this is going to do very well for him, because when he does finally take a coaching job, he's going to stick around for a while. The dude ain't trying to get fired. The brother, that's like taking a job. It's not a temporary job. Like, you don't know it's temporary. You don't go to a temp service where you know you're only working for a limited time. You take a job, right? And you think you're going to be there permanently, and they tell you that they're going out of business 2 weeks after they hire you. He's seen this happen. Ben Johnson is a smart man. I trust him to get this offense together, and I think he's going to do just that. So let me know your thoughts on Ben Johnson, what he said about, what do you think that means? Do you think, because I personally believe it means that he's trying to see this thing through a Super Bowl, but sometimes the offensive coordinators are comfortable where they are. He has his family to consider as well. It's not about him. He's thinking about the big picture, and he's not going to leave until the perfect opportunity arises. And I think that is a smart decision that he's going to make. So do you think that means Super Bowl? Do you think that means Super Bowl and or the perfect opportunity arising? I think it means both, that he's going to see Super Bowl on top of Super Bowl on top of perfect job opening, because Carolina Panthers, no sir. Washington Commanders, no sir. There's the perfect opportunity. Ben Johnson has listen, we went from sell the team, right? We went from sell the team to now people love working for the Ford organization. They love working for Sheila Hemp. They love it, right? Maybe that's because she changed her name as well. She dropped Ford, but they love working for that. They love it because you hear nothing but good things about this organization and the steps that they're taking forward. So I like this. So that means that and the crazy thing is now Jared Goff is here for a while. Ben Johnson could be here just as long. You never know. The right position has to open up. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How does that make you feel about the future? Knowing that Jared Goff probably will be in good hands for the foreseeable future, that even if we win a Super Bowl, doesn't mean Ben Johnson's going to take off. It could go either way. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This channel is brought to you by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. Consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know if it lit up for you, if the word subscribe lit up, and hit the thumbs up. They offered, now you can see the thumbs up button light as well. So if those two, let me know in the comments below also which button lit up. I'm going to say it again. So I want you to look at the word subscribe. Let me know if it lit up. Look at the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up and let me know if that lit up as well. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Ben Johnson is here to stay for quite some time.